This week on Naatak Radio, we present to you Shekhar Joshi's Dajyu, performed by Kartic Bhargav.
Jagdish Babu saw him for the first time at the small cafe with the large signboard in the marketplace. He had a fair complexion, sparkling eyes, golden brown hair, and an unusual smooth liveliness in his movements, like a drop of water sliding along the leaf of a lotus. From the alertness in his eyes, one would guess his age as only 9 or 10, and that's what it was. When Jagdish Babu, puffing on a half-lit cigarette, entered the cafe, the boy was removing some plates from a table. By the time Jagdish Babu had seated himself at a corner table, the boy was already standing in front of him. He looked as though he had been waiting for hours for him, for a person to sit in that seat. The boy said nothing. He did bow slightly to show respect, and then just smiled. Receiving the order for a cup of tea, he smiled again, went off, and then returned with the tea in the twinkling of an eye. Jagdish Babu had come from a distant region and was alone. In the hustle and bustle of the marketplace, in the clamour of the cafe, everything seemed unrelated to himself. Maybe after living here a while and growing used to it, he'd start feeling some intimacy in the surroundings. But today, the place seemed alien. Then he began remembering nostalgically the people of his village region, the school and college boys there, the mountains, the cafe in the nearby town. Tea shop! Jagdish Babu flicked the ash from the cigarette. In the boy's pronunciation of Saab, he seemed to notice something which he had been missing. He started to follow up the speculation. What is your name? Madan. Very well, Madan. Where are you from? I'm from the hills, Babuji. There are hundreds of hill places. Abu, Darjeeling, Mussoorie, Shimla, Almora. Which hills is your village in? Almora, Shab, he said with a smile. Almora. Which village in Almora? He persisted. The boy hesitated. Perhaps embarrassed by the strange name of the village, he answered evasively. Oh, it's far away, Shab. It must be 15 or 20 miles from Almora. But it still must have a name, Jagdish Babu insisted. Dotyalgon, he answered shyly. The expression of loneliness vanished from Jagdish Babu's face. When he smiled and told Madan he was from a neighboring village, the boy almost dropped his tray with delight. He stood there, speechless and dazed, as though trying to recall his past. The past. Village, high mountains, a stream, mother, father, older sister, younger sister, big brother. Whose shadow was it that Madan saw in the form of Jagdish Babu? Mother? Father? Elder or younger sister? No. Big brother. Yes, Dajyu. Within a few days, the gap of unfamiliarity between Madan and Jagdish Babu had disappeared. As soon as the gentleman sat down, Madan would call out, Jai Hind, Dajyu. Dajyu, it's very cold today. Dajyu, will it snow here too? Dajyu, you didn't eat much yesterday. And then from some direction would come a cry of, Boy! Madan would be there even before the echo of the call could be heard. Anything for you, Dajyu? He would call out, repeating the word Dajyu with eagerness and affection of a mother embracing her son after a long separation. After some time, Jagdish Babu's loneliness disappeared. Now not only the marketplace and the cafe, but the whole city seemed like home to him. Madan, come here. Coming, Dajyu! This repetition of the word Dajyu aroused the bourgeois temperament in Jagdish Babu. The thin thread of intimacy could not stand the strong pull of ego. Shall I bring tea, Dajyu? No tea, but what is this Dajyu? Dajyu, you keep shouting all the time. Have you no respect for a person's prestige? Jagdish Babu flushed with anger. He had no control over his words, nor did he stop to wonder whether Madan could know the meaning of the word prestige. But Madan, even with no explanation, had understood everything. Could one who had braved an understanding of the world at such a tender age fail to understand one unimportant word? Having made the excuse of a headache to the manager, Madan sat in his small room, head between his knees, and sobbed. In a situation far from home, his display of intimacy towards Jagdish Babu had been perfectly natural. But now, for the first time in a foreign place, he felt as though someone had pulled him from the lap of his mother, from the arms of his father, and from the protection of his sister. Madan returned to work as before. The next day, heading for the cafe, Jagdish Babu suddenly met a childhood friend, Hemant. Reaching the cafe, Jagdish Babu beckoned to Madan, but he sensed that the boy was trying to remain at a distance. On the second call, Madan finally came over. Today, that smile was not there on his face. Nor did he say, "What can I bring, Dajyu?" Jagdish Babu himself had to speak up. 2 teas, 2 omelets. Even then, instead of replying, "Right away, Dajyu," he said, "Right away, Shab," and then left as though the man were a stranger. Perhaps a hill boy? Hemant speculated. Yes, muttered Jagdish Babu and changed the subject. Madan had brought the tea. "What's your name?" Hemant asked, trying to be friendly. For a few moments, silence engulfed the table. Jagdish Babu's lowered eyes were centered on the cup of tea. Memories swam before Madan's eyes. Jagdish Babu asking his name like this one day, and then, "Dajyu, you didn't eat much yesterday." And then one day, "You pay no attention to anyone's prestige." Jagdish Babu raised his eyes and saw that Madan seemed about to erupt like a volcano. "What is your name?" Hemant repeated. "Shab, they call me boy," he said quickly and walked away. "A real idiot," Hemant remarked, taking a sip of tea. "He can't even remember his own name."